This is the training instructions for running payroll for Ingram Associates. First thing you want to do is to log into the ADP payroll website, which you can see the URL for that payroll website is here. Got to make sure you use it exactly as you see it there. Then you sign in, and the user ID is Ingram Associates. The password is here. I'll provide that in another way, but that's what you do. You make sure you're seeing, click sign in. You want to save the password. So at this point, I am in the Ingram Associates ADP payroll webpage. You can get to it. This is your launch bar. But when you get this main menu, what you want to do is click Run Payroll. And you can also see right now automatically it's telling you that if you run it today, your October payroll, which is what we're running today, is the 27th of October. You could have the check date clear and post on the 31st, which happens to be a Friday. And we're actually going to do this on a Thursday. I'll explain why. We'll post it on the 31st, but we'll have it hit our contractors' accounts on the 30th. And the main reason we're doing that, we want to make sure that they get paid in enough time for them to, when they do their November invoice, they will have included this October payment so that they're not showing that we still owe them for October. So I'm going to click Run Payroll. First thing that comes up is your employees. Right now we have 2 employees. You can see here, these are part-time employees. You don't have to click the salary amount. The system will do that automatically. What you do have to do is make sure that you include their hours that you're paying them for this period. So for this whole period of the month of October, they worked 20 hours, $20 an hour. So that's going to be their salary for the month. At that point, only thing you have to do is click Next. This point, this is where we pay our 1099 subcontractors. We have 3 listed here, but we only have 2 working at this present time. And what we have to do, we have to enter an amount for the month that these contractors are owed. So let's take RSA Engineering first. What you would do is you would look at their invoice submitted in September. They submitted their September hours for a total of $4,074.45. So what you want to do then at that point is to, in the payroll app, you want to, in this 1099 compensation amount column, and RSA, you want to type in $4,074.45. All right. And at that point, it's going to ask you, is this a one-time change? We'd like to make this permanent. Click no, because it changes month to month depending on how many hours they work. Similarly, for Insight Global, this happens to be the other contractor. There's a timesheet app that it's not totally up to date. So that normally would be the place where you would go get the payment for this individual. They make $53 an hour, but the way we're going to instruct you to do it here is 2 ways. First way, and the way we're going to talk about, is go receive their current invoice. Just like we had the invoice for RSA, I will go pull down the invoice that I get from an email from their person, and their statement happens to show that the invoice amount, actually it tells you here. Let me put that in the screen. So this is again for the month of September. So this is the document you want to refer to. They started working on 9/1 and they finished on 9/30 for a total of $9,222 even. So you would, for Insight Global, you would type in 9,222, no cents, and that is the amount that will be paid to these 2 subcontractors. At this point, we want to preview the payroll. This will allow us to see both the contractors and the employee amount that has to be paid out. Okay, one more thing. See where it says the period is October 1st to the 31st. We want to make this check date. We want to make this check date Thursday. Why am I doing that? It's because I want these people to get paid in enough time so that when they produce their invoice for November, I know that they have had at least one business day to get paid. So I don't want them to show that they're still owed for October with the November invoice. That's why I'm going to put it one day ahead of the 31st. But for our QuickBooks purposes, the posting date, it will be the 31st. I'm going to change that. So just one day difference. Hopefully we don't always have to do this. And we may have to change some contracts such that we know that people are getting paid in enough time so that they don't show that we still owe them on their invoice. That's a problem sometimes with our client. Click Save. All right. And at this point, you want to preview payroll. We haven't run payroll yet, but we're just previewing it. So at this point, it's going to tell us, okay, you need to have $14,183.25 in your banking account to pay these employees and the contractors. You can see that for the two employees, there's taxes taken out. But for the subcontractors, no taxes. It's a straight amount. Now at this point, before I click approve, I will go to the bank account to make sure that there's enough money. Typically, I would have done that before I got into payroll, but just for training purposes, I'm going to go look at the bank account, make sure that there's enough money to process this payroll today. All right, so again, what we want to do is we want to go look at the payroll account. And you can see right here, so that's a problem. So payroll is only showing $12,728.12. And if I run this payroll, I actually need to have $14,183.25. So I need to move money from the operations account to the payroll account to cover that. So let's see, why don't I just move about $3,000? And this also includes fees. So I'm going to move about $3,500 to cover that. So the way I'll do that, I'll just go ahead and transfer that now from that operations. Typically, we would have already had the money in the payroll. Didn't have to do this, but it's okay for training purposes. I'm going to move that back over to payroll to cover that. And we're going to say just one time, $3,500. And let's go ahead and continue and submit that. So at this point now, there is $16,000 is enough to cover the payroll. All right. And so let's go ahead and shut that down. And now let's move over to, let's close that. And now we're ready to run payroll. So the only thing you have to do at this point, because you got the amounts right. And again, we want to double check before you click it. You got your 922 there for Insight Global. That's good. And then also you have for RSA, you have their amount as $4,074.45. So you've double checked that. So you're good to go with those two. And also you're good to go with these two as well. Just go ahead and click approve. It's going to ask you one more time because you can't change it once you click approve this time. So I click approve and it's off and it's posting, processing, and let's see here. Okay. So at this point, check date, these folks will get paid on the 30th. It's going to post to our banking account within actually it'll post to our banking account as processed on the 30th, but when we get our download from ADP to QuickBooks, it's going to show posting on the 31st. All right. So that is it. That's all. And then you can click I'm done. And that's how you run payroll for Ingram Associates. Thank you.